Now we're cooking. Good. Yeah, you can move me on the side. You can move around the little square so you can see part of the important part of the presentation. The truth. That's what we're going to talk about today, and we're going to see. What is the truth? I have to apologize. The first part is in German because it's a little bit difficult to translate. If you see on the right, you see a guy with blue hair. Yeah, his name is Rezo. This guy did on last year, 2019, before there were the European elections. He did a YouTube video. He's a YouTuber, yeah, like we know nowadays. There are many people, especially young people, doing a living with YouTube videos. Actually, he usually makes YouTube videos with funny things and crazy things and other stuff. So I'm gonna quote him because he's a typical example of postmodernism, of postmodernist. Yeah, also the way he talks, the way he expresses himself, and the way he dresses, you can see it also. But there are some interesting points here. This in the minute 52 of his video, the destruction of the CDU. CDU is one of the political parties here in Germany that he attacks in his video. And that's the title actually of this YouTube video, The Destruction of the CDU. And then in minute 52, he talks about the consensus about climate change. And that's his topic. And he talks that this party is not doing enough against climate change. But I want to underline especially this here. Okay, let me see. Especially minute 52:20, there it says that this topic of climate change, it's not about political opinions, but it's a legitimate attitude. Yeah, and the same in minute 53, second 6. He talks about it's not about different political opinions, but it is the truth. He says this is the truth. That is what the truth is about. Something that we're not used to come from postmodernism. One of the characteristics of postmodernism is that basically there is no truth. Now everything is relative. You can see it on this side, from this side. Maybe it is true, maybe it's not. But here we have a young postmodern man who is saying about a specific topic, in this case, climate change. He's saying there is no opinion. This is fact. This is the truth. Yeah. So this is something that we have coming a little bit different than we had in the last years. So we see that even postmodernism is changing a little bit. What does this mean for us? We will see at the end of the sermon. I will go back to this point because I think it's very important what this is telling us in this very interesting times. Exactly. So, okay, why can't I go further? Okay, here. Now we have 4 questions concerning the truth. Is there truth? Does truth exist at all? That's the first question we have to answer. The second one, is there one truth or are there many truths that we have around? The third one, how do we know the truth? How do we know which one is? And the fourth one, why is truth important? Why? Why should we care about it? Those are the 4 points about truth. Let's go to the first one. Is there truth? Some people say our senses deceive us. We never know what is true. I had a colleague in my work, and we were in the cafeteria, and there was a little Tupperware container, and he was saying, well, how do you know that this Tupperware does exist? Maybe it's just in your head. Maybe you just think it is there. But is it really there? Does it really exist? And we have this kind of thinking that's very odd, very strange, but there are some people that think like that. But now the question is, when you get up at night and you hit your little toe against the bed, do you really doubt about the bed being there? Do you think, well, maybe it's just my imagination. Maybe I'm just feeling something. Who knows if the bed is there? Maybe I'm just hallucinating. I don't think so. Yeah, you will pay me even cursing at night and holding your big toe because it hurts. So it is a reality. Yeah, it would be kind of senseless to say there is no truth. Who knows if things around us exist? We do not know. That doesn't make much sense in the light of our daily experiences. So is there truth? There is. Yeah, it would be illogical. It wouldn't make any sense to deny that. So is there truth? That's the first question. Yeah. Let me check here. Exactly. Sorry. Okay. Is there one truth? Excuse me. I was supposed to write here. Is there one truth? I did translate it yesterday, and there was something that that I lost here. Is there one truth? That was the second question. We saw is there truth? Is there one truth? That is the second question. Can both be true? If I'm saying our brother Nepo, he comes from China. Can somebody say, well, maybe he comes from China, maybe he comes from Nigeria, maybe, who knows? It could be China, it could be both. No, it can't. Or he comes from China, or he comes from somewhere else. There cannot be many opinions. Yeah, I can have my opinion. I can say, for me, Brother Nepo, he's Mongolian. That's my opinion. Sure, it can be my opinion. But does it mean that it is true? It is not. Yeah. If I say the Fellbach International Church or the International Church in Stuttgart is in Esslingen. It's in Fellbach. Yeah. I cannot say, well, in my opinion, it's in Esslingen. I'm going to go Saturday morning. I'm going to go to Esslingen because that's where, for me, the International Church is. I would be wrong. Yeah. There cannot be many truths. Okay. Of course, some people say not everything is black and white. Yeah, sure, that is true. Some things are gray, but then the truth is it is gray. Yeah. So some things are black, some things are white, some things are gray, some things are brown, but then that's the truth. That's the real color. Yeah. Some people hide behind this. Well, there is no truth. It can be black, it can be white, there's no truth. Well, no, or it is black, or it is white, or it is gray, or it is brown. That is the truth. Yeah. So this is also something that doesn't make much sense when people say, well, there are many truths. No, there aren't. Next very important point. How do we know the truth? This is also a very important question. We saw truth does exist. There is one truth. Now, how do we know which one is true? We get information through our senses. We evaluate and analyze that information and set it in a logical or reasonable order. That is how we get to the truth. Yeah, we just have our senses around us to tell us what's going on. We take that information, we set it in a reasonable, logical order, and that's how we get to the truth. Let me give you an example. Does it make sense for a nurse to wake up a patient in order to give him the sleeping medicine? It would be kind of not intelligent, yeah? Or a cleaner that wipes the stairs from bottom to top. It wouldn't make much sense. How do we know that? How do we know it is the right thing, it is truth that I let the patient sleep? Because I get the information, I see he's sleeping, maybe he's snoring. Yeah, I know he's resting, and it does not make sense now to wake him up to give him something to sleep. Yeah, so I take the information that is around me, I analyze it. The patient is sleeping, and I say, okay, what do I do first? What do I do the next? I give it a logical order. That's how we get to the truth. The same here. The cleaner wipes the stair from bottom to top. I see there's gravity, things, even dirt falls from top to bottom. So when I move something from top to bottom, it goes down. So it makes sense to clean or wipe a set of stairs from the top to the bottom, not the other way around. How do I know it? Because like we explained, we take the information from around. And that's how we see logical things. That's how we make sense of our environment. Now, we saw that there is truth. There is one truth. Yeah. And how do we know the truth? And why it is important, we will see at the end. Now, what truths are important? Is it important the truth about chocolate being delicious or not? Is it important if it's true that I'm 1 meter 80 or 2 meters high or whatever? Yeah, it could, but it's not that relevant. So what truths are actually relevant? What is important? These are the questions that we as people, as humans, ask ourselves. No animal asks this question to itself. The question about truth that just humans ask. Where do we come from? The question about origin, what we talked today about. Where do we end up? Where do we go to? What's our destiny? What is the meaning of life? What am I here in this world for? And what is right and wrong? The moral question. Yeah, the question of purpose and the question of moral. No animal asks any of these questions. Yeah, the lion will not eat the gazelle and then ask itself, actually, was it good to eat that poor animal, to destroy it? Or maybe should I have had a carrot? Yeah, a lion doesn't care, eat what it has to eat. Yeah, a dog does not ask itself, what am I here in this world for? Just to go out, take a walk and come back? What is my purpose? The dog does not ask that question. Or where does it go? No parrot will ask himself, what happens when I die? Yeah. Or no cow ask, where did I come from as cow? Was I created? Did I come from evolution? Where did I come from? Why am I standing on this grass and eating and giving milk? The cow does not ask these questions. Those are just pure human questions. And the truth about these questions is what we're after. Other questions might be interesting. Yeah, is it true that Germany is a nice country, or that Berlin is a big city? Whatever. Those are interesting questions. There's truth about it, but they're not relevant to our lives. Yeah, but these questions that we're seeing here are relevant to our lives. And they're questions that just human ask. Now, of course, a lion will ask itself, is a gazelle bigger or an elephant bigger? Yeah, that's very important. But these are not the questions that we as humans tend to have as very important. Yeah, these are the important questions for us. Now, we will not have in this sermon time to go through all of these questions, the questions of origin, destiny, purpose, and morals. So I actually made a series of sermons. I'm working on them to go through all, but one sermon per question. So today we'll start with the first one. Where do we come from? A little bit what we talked about in our Sabbath school lesson. That's the question we will tackle in this study hour. Where do we come from? The first question that we talk about when we talk about coming from is the beginning of the universe at all. Where did the universe come from? Where does the universe come from? Where did it begin? We have the Big Bang Theory, an explosion. However, explosions in what we know of, they bring distractions. Yeah, we have never seen an explosion that brings construction, that builds anything. So the Big Bang was a big explosion. So the Big Bang must have brought a great deal of destruction. But we see that the universe is actually not some destroyed thing, but it's a fine-tuned system. Yeah. So here we see something doesn't make sense, something doesn't fit. doesn't really suit our information that we see every day. When we see explosion, what is an explosion? It's a big uncontrolled display of energy. Yeah. So where did we see a big display or a big a release of uncontrolled energy that brought order? A bomb, yeah, or when we have New Year's Eve, those firecrackers, none of them bring order. They all bring destruction. Yeah, when they explode, they will destroy things. They will break things. They will never build anything. Yeah. Then the other thing about the Big Bang is what did bang? What did explode? That's so the beginning of the universe, the Big Bang does not answer the beginning of the universe, because there has to be something that explodes. What was that? Was there not a universe? There are theories about parallel universes, but you see that the logic behind this Big Bang theory, it doesn't match, it doesn't fit, it doesn't work at all. Let's go to the next one. Where do we come from as humans? The beginning of life. We saw beginning of the universe. The theory that's out there, Big Bang, it's very questionable. It doesn't fit. What about beginning of life? Because the beginning of the universe does not answer at all. Even if the Big Bang would answer the question about the beginning of the universe, it does not answer the beginning of life. Yeah, that's a total different thing. You can have a couple of stones flying around in space. That doesn't mean that there's life. So, beginning of life, where do you come from? We have DNA, which is 262,000 pages of written information in each of our cells. That's organized information. It's not just letters somewhere, but it's written information. Now you imagine you go to a beach and you see this written SOS. Now you fly with your helicopter or an airplane over that beach and you see SOS. You would logically say, well, there's somebody down there. Let's go down and check. There must be people. And if your co-pilot says, well, I didn't see anybody, I didn't see people, take a look. No, we don't see people. So where does this SOS come from? Well, you think the co-pilot will explain, well, maybe the waves did it, they came, and then with time, this kind of weird shape got written on the beach. Or maybe there was a snake, that moved in a funny way, or maybe some other animal. Or would we buy that argument? We would say, okay, well, then let's move on. Nobody's on that beach. Nobody's on that island. Let's just move on. Nobody was there. It just happened. That would be foolish. Everybody would go down and say, hey, somebody was there. Somebody wrote SOS. Let's search for that person. Let's see who is there. Somebody's here. Yeah. Maybe he passed away already. Could be, but somebody was there. Some intelligent being did this. And we're just talking about 3 simple letters, not 262,000 pages of written information. Let's go to the second example. Lecker, delicious, in German. Would you believe if somebody says, wow, it just happened by chance. I just lift my spoon and the word delicious, lecker was written there. It just happened. Huh? It's strange. Well, I did move the spoon 1,000,000 times. It doesn't matter. You can put it 300 million times. This will not happen by chance. That this word in this shape, in this form, will come up. And even if we're talking about 6 letters, not 260,000 pages of written information that have to be combined in a specific way in order to have anything similar to a living cell. So we see that this idea that things just came together and made DNA and just by chance came together is, it doesn't make sense. It's quite ridiculous. So let's go to the word logic, because that's what we're talking about. Is it logic to think that life was formed in this way? The ancient Greek term logos has a wide range of meaning. It has to do with the word, speech, and meaning. That's what this word logos means. It also carries the meaning of reason in the universal sense of reasoning. And here again, the definition of how do we know the truth? We get information through our senses. We evaluate and analyze that information and set it in a logical, reasonable order. That is how we get to the truth. Through this logic, through this reason. Yeah. In Genesis 1:1-2, we have, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. We have in Genesis 1:1-26, in this whole story of creation, we have 8 times this word, and God said, and God said, yeah? And God said, let there be light. And God said, let it be water and land. And God said, let the water come together and the heavens, yeah? And God said, let in the earth grow grass and vegetables. And God said, and so on and so on. What is this said here? God said. What is this? This is this logos, the word, the reason. Yeah. So God brought logic. God brought reason into this planet. How was the earth? Formless and empty. So there was no logic, there was no reason in this universe, on this planet. It was chaos. There was no any kind of sense, of meaning. But now God comes and brings logos, brings order, brings logic, brings reason. That's how the universe began. So we see that we need the logos. Let's see now life. Yeah, we compared. The Big Bang does not make sense. What the Bible says, God spoke, the logos, it does make sense when we talk about the creation of the universe. Now, when we talk about life, we have the theory of evolution. And we have here the definition. Yeah, let me read it. Evolution is the process of changes in all forms of life over generations. And evolutionary biology is the study of how evolution occurs. Biological populations evolve through genetic changes that correspond to changes in the organism's observable traits. Genetic changes include mutations, which are caused by damage or replication errors in organisms, DNA. As the genetic variation of a population drifts randomly over generations, natural selection gradually leads traits to become more or less common based on the relative reproductive success of organisms with those traits. So we have here the word natural selection. So one organism over the other. How does that make sense? Let's go to a parallel, an example. Yeah, because we talk about evolution, things from very simple move to very complex, right? So let's do a parallel how things evolve in our everyday life. We have a microwave around 1946. Yeah, this was a couple of years ago. Yeah, how microwaves were. Now, if we take the principle of evolution, we have a very basic cell, let's say a frog or a fish or whatever. Yeah, let's compare both. So let's say the microwave, how does it evolve? Microwave around 1946. If we talk about the evolution, the logic of evolution like we have it today, this should be our microwave today, a blender. Does it make sense? Well, we could argue the blender also has a rotor, something that rotates. A blender has a cable. A blender works with electricity. A blender has buttons, just like the microwave. Everything like the microwave. It has parts of glass, just like the microwave. So one comes from the other one. But it doesn't make sense. The microwave was made for one thing with one purpose. It was one idea behind the microwave. The blender was made with another purpose, with another idea. Sure, there are similarities. They work with electricity, they have chips inside, whatever, they have buttons, but they're two different gadgets, totally different, and they evolve different. The microwave did not end up in a blender. Yeah, this is the evolution of microwaves. Yeah, I have to move a little bit to see it also. Yeah, let me put it in the bottom. Here we have the evolution of microwaves. That makes sense. Yeah, we have a very, very basic microwave and evolves in a bit better microwave, but it doesn't change. But now we have, wait, let me see. I wanted to see something. Exactly. But the evolution tells us that we have one species, from a fish comes a bird, two totally different things. Yeah, it's like saying from a microwave we end up with a blender. It doesn't make much sense. So this is the evolution, yeah, that makes sense, a microevolution like we call it. And this we see, like in this example, these are the Mapuches. These are natives from Farland. This is the south from Argentina. Yeah, in the very south, these tribes were the native people 100 years ago. And you see, they don't have much clothes. Yeah, they're just with pelts on and with just a bit fur from animals. But it's very cold down in the south. But they are not cold. Now, these are the same people, the natives today. You see them wearing warm jackets, yeah, around the fire, and it's also cold. So how come? This is kind of how people evolve and how we as people also evolve. Yeah, of course, we get a bit tougher, or we change a bit, but that doesn't mean that from humans we become elephants, or we become fish, or we become something different. We're always a species. And in that frame of species, of course, we adapt to the climate. Yeah, people that come from very, very cold countries, they come to warm countries and they suffer. Yeah, well, it's so hot here and so hot. And maybe the people that live there don't feel that way. Yeah, because they say it's normal temperature for us. Yeah, but if that people from warm countries go to the cold country, they freeze to death. And the locals say, well, it's not that cold. I'm having a shirt, and why are you crying? It's not cold. But the other person feels cold. How come? Because, of course, people have adapted. The bodies have adapted. That we see. But this is what evolution is telling us. Yeah, from a fish, they came a bird, and then from the birds, and from the fish, and then they came people. These are total different things. Yeah. And the question arises, where this also the logic is not there. What evolved? A fish, let's say a dolphin. Is a dolphin better than a bird? Well, some people say that dolphins are intelligent, but the dolphin cannot fly. So how did the dolphin evolve into something better? Yeah, if I'm a fish and I want to be better, I will try to swim faster. I will be better at swimming, but why will I try to fly? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I'm chased by fish. I have to swim very fast, and that's what I will adapt, maybe. Yeah, to swim a little bit faster. But why will I want to fly? If I'm a bird, why will I? Yeah, I need to fly fast. That's what I need, and I will not change into some kind of other animal. What about as humans? Do we evolve? Are some humans more intelligent than others? Yeah. Have we evolved? The Chinese make better electric cars than we do right now in Germany, right? So are they smarter than us? Have they evolved? It doesn't make sense. Yeah. So you see, this evolution does not fit the logical frame. Yeah. If I want to be better, why, if we are evolved as humans, why can't we swim faster than a dolphin, fly better than a dove, run faster than a lion? How come? Then we did not evolve at all. We are not strong as an elephant. So where's our strength? We are not strong. So this whole idea of evolution, especially based on the survival of the fittest, is actually, from the logic, very, very weak. Evolution is very questionable. Also, so where is the truth? Where is reason? We saw that evolution doesn't make sense. So what about what we believe in? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This word is logic, reason, meaning. So let's read this text again, replacing this word logos, which comes from Greek, which means this reason. Let's now change it or put it with the word logos. The same text, Again, understanding it another way. In the beginning was logic, reason, meaning. And the word and logic, reason was with God. And logic, reason was God. He, this logic, this reason, was with God in the beginning. Through this reason, this logic, all things were made. And without him, there is no logic and there is no reason. And nothing was made that has been made. So you see, we can actually have logic and reason in our environment. Logic and reason exists because there is a God. If we take God out of the picture, that's what we saw today, there is no reason, there's no logic. It doesn't make sense at all. That's what we talked about in this lesson today, about these glasses, yeah, that people that don't believe, they have to change these glasses, because of course I can put on the glasses of not believing, say there's no God, but the moment where I'm making reason, I'm using logic to see my life, to study and to understand things around me, I'm putting on the glasses of God, because without it, I cannot make logic and reason at all. In John 14:6, Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know me, you will know my Father as well. From now on, you know him and have seen him. This is a very interesting fact. Many people, many religions, many leaders, gurus, whatever, say, I know the truth, or I even have the truth. But Jesus is the only one that says, I am the truth. None other religious leader has ever said, I am the truth. And that's a game changer. That is totally different from saying, I am saying the truth, or I have the truth, or I'm telling you the truth. Many people say, I'm telling you the truth. Yeah, politicians, religious leaders. But none of them will dare to say, I am the truth. Because just Jesus can do that. Just he's the truth, because he is this logos, he's the logic, he's the reason, he's the truth. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. We had the beautiful story about this house building, yeah, that Sister Patience told us. I like that story. Now imagine an earthquake came and destroyed your house. And then somebody comes and says, well, let's drop a bomb on it. Maybe it will rebuild. And then an explosion comes, nothing. Oh, let's drop another bomb. Let's drop a million bombs. Yeah, maybe it will build up again. It would make sense. It wouldn't make sense. We'll say you're stupid. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. Or if we see a house like this one built very beautifully, nobody would say it just happened. Just a tornado came and the house was there. Yeah. Or a Second World War bomb that was left over from 70 years ago exploded and boom, there it was, a beautiful house. It wouldn't make sense. Everybody would say you're out of your mind if you believe that. Yeah. Everybody would say there was somebody, there was an architect, there was a builder, there were a handyman, there were craftsmen, yeah, building that house. There was somebody that had an idea. I'm going to put a beautiful swimming pool. I'm going to put some beautiful chairs on it and everything. There was somebody that had an idea how to make something beautiful. Otherwise, it would not end in this way. And that's, we see a beautiful world around us. How can it come just by it doesn't make any sense. So you see that even the atheist, yeah, or the people that do not believe, they have to change glasses. The moment where they explain how it came, yeah, they can put on their atheist glass and give some interesting explanation. But in the moment of seeing the world and their beauty, they have to put the glasses of logic and of God and of intelligent designer. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Now, why is the truth about the origin of mankind important? Why does it matter? I could just say, well, you believe in evolution, that's okay. I believe in creation, so just, yeah, who cares? It doesn't really matter, doesn't it? Let's see. In German, we have our constitution, yeah, and it says in the First Amendment, the dignity of mankind is untouchable. Yeah, in German, die Würde des Menschen ist unantastbar. Every school kid learns this First Amendment in the German Constitution, yeah. But what does the word mankind mean? And what does the word dignity mean? If we don't know where we come from, or if we don't have a clear concept about our origin. So you see how important this is. If we don't know where we come from, what is mankind? What is dignity? What is mankind? Nobody knows. Here it's very interesting what Charles Darwin says. But then with me, the horrid doubt always arises whether the convictions of man's mind, which has been developed from the mind of a lower animal, are of any value or at all trustworthy. Would anyone trust in the convictions of a monkey's mind if there are any convictions in such a mind? Charles Darwin. Yeah, he wrote it to William Graham, 3rd July 1881. So even Darwin himself, he understood that if we come through a process of evolution, there's no convictions, there's no dignity. We're just like a piece of grass, like a flower, like a waterfall. We don't have anything. Yeah. What convictions would we have? Would they be important? Would they be relevant? If I believe one thing, I believe the other thing. It wouldn't matter at all. It doesn't make a difference. Just like in the mind of a monkey, just like he says. So even Darwin understood what problem we have if we go down this path, this road of evolution. And that's a big problem. But what does the Bible say about dignity, about mankind? We saw that Darwin said there's none. Evolution, no dignity, mankind is nothing. Genesis 1:27. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. What a difference. Psalm 139, 13-14. For you created, my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Beautiful. 1 John 3:1. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called the children of God. And that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. What a difference. What dignity does it give us if we know that we're children of God? We are not some living being somewhere around. Yeah. What a difference when we know that God created us. He knows us. Yeah, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. That makes us special, each one of us. Otherwise, we would not. See what great love the Father has lavished at. What love does the Father give us? That gives us dignity. That makes us people. That makes us humans. That makes us mankind. That's totally different from who knows. What dignity do I have if I'm just some improved monkey? What am I? Nothing. Here I want to touch very briefly a topic that's also a little bit discussion even in our church about creation in 6 days. Even in our church, there's some movements where people are saying, even Seventh-day Adventists, well, the 6 days, are they 24 hours? And well, maybe who knows what time they were, what time frame we have and whatever. You cannot really know. And there are some arguments in that direction. And here I want to touch this topic. What does the Bible says? We know it in Exodus 20:11. Yeah, God made in 6 days. God created the world. Yeah, God made the world and everything what was in it. So the Bible is very clear about this, about what it says. Now, can we believe it or not? That's the question. The Bible says it, but should we believe it? Maybe, who knows? Let's see how God works. Matthew 8, 1-3. When Jesus came down from the mountainside, large crowds followed him. A man with leprosy came and knelt before him and said, "Lord, if you're willing, you can make me clean." Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. "I'm willing," he said. "Be clean." Then Jesus said, "Take this ointment, put it on the skin affected by leprosy every day. After 1 month, come back to me, and then we will see how it is going." And after 2 years, he was healed. Does the text say that? A bit strange, right? You would say, Brother Nissen, what have you done there? That doesn't sound like God. That doesn't sound like Jesus. It's a bit strange. It takes time, and in a year and 2 months. You're right, my brother. This is the right text. When Jesus came down from the mountainside, large crowds followed him. A man with leprosy came and knelt before him and said, "Lord, if you're willing, you can make me clean." Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. "I'm willing," he said. "Be clean." What does it say here? Immediately he was cleansed of his leprosy. So see, my brothers and sisters, God doesn't need 24 hours. He doesn't need 1 hour. He doesn't need a month. He doesn't need 2 years. He doesn't need to create something or to do something. If we go through the Bible, we see always a pattern. God says, and it's done. Jesus said, and it was done. Jesus said, and he was healed. At the very hour, we have the story where Jesus said, "Be healed," and the servant, if I don't remember wrongly, and at the very hour, the servant was healed. God doesn't. Do you think at the day of creation, God said, "Oh, I have to get up tomorrow on the second day very early, because otherwise I might not make it with my creation plan. I have to plant the flowers, I have to make the grass, I have to do the gardening. So I will get up early tomorrow so I can make it in 24 hours. Otherwise, the day." That's ridiculous. God said, and it was done. So this whole discussion about, did God need 6 days or a day of 24 hours or whatnot? It's ridiculous. God said, and it was done. God said, "Be light," there was light. God said, "Be grass," there was grass. And that was the end of the story. And that's how we see how God works. So I think that is very, very important. God makes things immediately. He does not need 100 or 1,000 days or years. This what creation touches when we talk a little bit about what we believe in our church. Yeah, good. So nice. We have the truth. So what? Yeah, we have the logic. We have Jesus, which is the logic. We have the word. We have the truth. Now we can say we are right. We have the truth. So what? Is it important? Does it matter? In the French Revolution, there was the goddess of reason. Yeah. Actually, this goddess was just a representation of reason. Yeah, they said, okay, we worship reason. But who is reason? Well, we just put a woman there to represent that. Okay. But what happened then with this reason? What happened if this reason is just an idea, ideology, a concept? What happens? We have nothing. We're left with nothing. We have no logic. We have no reason at all. Just an idea, but no truth. 1 Corinthians 1:18, for the message, the word, the logos of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. So we see how important it is. It is of saving importance, this truth, this logic, this reason, this Jesus. Without him, without this reason, without this logic, we're lost. Most people are more afraid of a truth than a lie, said a writer. Yeah, Lehrer und Schriftsteller, das ist Ernst Förster. Yeah, and I think this really is a true text. Yeah, it really says a lot about it. Many people prefer lies, and it's interesting. Right now with social media, we have this phenomena that fake news move much faster and are believed much stronger than the truth. Yeah, it's a phenomena, a social phenomena that we have. And the same in this area. If you tell some story about aliens came to the world, or we come from an egg, and whatever story you want to make up, whatever fake news you want to make up about where we come from, what we are, what the meaning of humanity is, a lot of people will believe it, probably. But when you come with this truth, it is very difficult. It is very difficult because people are more afraid of a truth than a lie. Let's go to another text, Mark 12, 29, 31. The most important one, answered Jesus, is this. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this, love your neighbors as yourself. There's no commandment greater than these. What did we see? What is this God? What should we love? What is God? Reason, meaning, logic. We should love it. We should cherish it. You know, the martyrs, they died because they loved this God. And this God was not just an idea, it was the truth in person. And they were willing to die for that truth, for that logic, for that reason. And this is now the call for us. Are we willing to really put ourselves out there for the truth, for reality? I think we have changed the idea, I believe in the truth, with I believe it is true. We have to go back to I believe in the truth. Actually, I should have written here truth in big letters, because truth here is meant God and Jesus themselves, so I should have written it in capital letters, truth, my mistake. So I believe in the truth, in that person, in Jesus, and not I believe something is true. I believe what Jesus says is true. That is one thing. But do I believe Jesus is the truth? That is a different story. And that's where we have to go back to. Not, I believe what the Bible says. I believe that it says the truth. No, I believe in the truth that is in this Bible. That's where we have to go back to. And that's what we have to stand for with all our heart. Without God, there's no truth. Without truth, we are doomed. That's the fact. We have the privilege to have the truth, the logos, the reason, Jesus Christ. What we will do about it? What we will do with it? John 1:4. In him was life, and that was that life, was the life of all mankind. Truth is life. Without truth, we have no life. Answering the questions that we had at the beginning. Is there truth? The truth is Jesus Christ. Is there one truth? He is the only logos, reason, meaning. How do we know the truth? Truth is his word, the logos. Why is it important? It's life-saving. Without that truth, there is no life. We are doomed. This is the truth. Now, my appeal to you is this. Are you willing to stand for the truth? At the beginning, I showed you this young guy, Rizzo, this YouTuber. For him, the truth was important. He said, this is the truth. I'm standing for it. And he was criticized by a lot of people because he said, this is the truth. Our climate is changing. This is the truth. No discussion. It's not about a political opinion. This is the truth. What about us? If some postmodern guy is willing to stand for his truth, why aren't we willing to stand for our truth? We should. Just as he is, we should also stand there and say, this is the truth. Jesus Christ is the truth. He loves us. He's coming back for us. He's life-saving, and we should believe in him. And in him alone will we have dignity as mankind. In him alone are we going to have salvation. May God help us that we can bring this truth to all the people around us and not be afraid of being called foolish or some other things, but that we can stand for that person, for Jesus Christ, and in his truth. God may bless us. Amen.